So good afternoon and welcome to the Waves of Life. This is about having those breathing moments when chaos reigns and the waves are just crashing over you. And how do you breathe when it's calm and you want to stay connected at a higher level? But let's start with getting a bit connected so we can forget about all the chaos that reigns around us all the time. And by doing that, we're going to be doing the feather breath. So this requires participation. If you've never done one of my masterclasses or sessions before, well, you'll know that this is a partake experience. It's not me speaking to you. It is part of that interaction. Take your right hand and thumb and forefinger together. Put it in front of your nose, 10 centimeters in front of your nose, pretending that you have a feather. Pretend that you've got this imaginary feather. Mine is from a flamingo. On the lagoon here, we often get the flamingo feathers. And what you're going to do is when I count you in from 3 to 1, you're going to let out your air, and then you're going to blow that feather. So you're going to let go of the feather and take short, sharp, deep breaths in and out your mouth to activate your diaphragm and really just get us focused. So you're going to pretend that you've got to blow that feather up into the air. Have we got that? Are we ready for this? All right. Go. So hold that feather 10 centimeters in front of our nose. I'm going to count you 3, 2, 1, letting your air out, and let the feather go. Blow. Keep that feather up. Come on, keep that feather up. Adele, I know you can do this. Let's go. Keep blowing, because like all of life, if you don't participate, you don't get anything out of it. And to activate your breathing, we need to breathe. Keep going. 5 seconds. You can do this. You can do this. Now take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Lift your arms up. Deep breath in. Lift your arms up. And a massive sigh to let it all go. There we are. Congratulations. You've just activated and awakened your nervous system. You've cleaned out that stale air which is sitting under your lungs, inside your lungs there. And if you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, you're feeling lightheaded, a bit starry, yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly normal. Now, what I'm going to be sharing with you today is we're going to climb into a couple of really valuable breathing techniques that you can use literally in 60 seconds to change how you're feeling, how you're thinking, how you're reacting. But before this, a little bit of a story here. Wonderful that we've got some more people joining us. A bit of a story that I didn't always used to know what I'm going to share with you. Now, I call myself a breathwork alchemist, but I was in hospitality in 2018 before I walked out due to burnout. So what is this breathwork alchemy? Well, an alchemist takes something which is heavy, something which is dark, rather not pleasant, and they turn this into light, into energy, into fun, into gold. So I use breathwork to create an emotional change of state in people, so you can mentally, physically, and spiritually feel lighter, better, and more clued up. So that's what breathwork alchemy is. But it came to me in the most surprising of ways that I was not expecting. In fact, when breathwork first discovered me, I wasn't even looking for it. I didn't even know what breathwork was. But it was at tender young age of 51 that I took my first real deep conscious breath. And if today is the first time that you're joining me on a session or for going through breathing, perhaps this is going to be that moment for you. So on the side of the screen there, you can see that photograph. Now, I took that picture the night I walked out of my corporate job due to burnout. I didn't even know what burnout was. I just knew that I could not continue in that state for so long. 27 years in hospitality, living in a high-stressed, high-anxiety state for so many years had eventually just taken its toll. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know what was going on. I tried to reach out to my boss. That did not go well. I was running a very high-profile business in Cape Town, and hospitality, if anybody here has worked in that industry, does not sleep, which meant I didn't pretty much sleep either. Internally, I was disengaged from the world around me. My relationships with the family, tatters. My son was a teenager back then. And when I was at home, I was not a dad. I was just this angry individual that I was not connected at all. And the business I was running was struggling. It was suffering because I was not able to see solutions in the problems. In a state of what I now have come to call brownout, we're not able to see positivity, we only see negativity. We're living in a fear, fight, flight, stressed anxiety state on the verge of burnout. So I quit cold turkey. And I went on a 6-year journey of discovery to try and find out, who am I? Why am I here? And what do I actually want to get out of life? And it was during this that breathwork discovered me, and I started to implement it within my coaching clients. Now, backtrack a little bit. I've been doing speaking, mentoring, coaching since 2008. So many, many years now, sort of on the side hustle, if you want, of a business and the jobs that I had full time. And I decided to climb full in on this. And when I introduced breathing techniques and some of what I'm going to share with you today with my coaching clients in my full program, the results were amazing and profound. Since then, much has changed. I'm now an international speaker. And you can see some pictures on the screen there, speaking to corporates, teams, networks on how they can focus at a higher level, how to integrate breathing to reverse the silent slide into burnout. And if into what do you do when the when the seas are stormy? What do we do when the seas are stormy? So we want to find out how stormy they are for you. So we're going to play with a breathwork count. In other words, I'm going to ask you to count how many breaths you take. And one of the key reasons for this is to help identify how stressed we are. And I'll explain more afterwards. Now, the statistics around stress and anxiety and burnout are extremely worrying. They're very scary. Gallup does polls frequently. So Gallup does international polls where they have a look at the mental health of the workplace. They have recently launched their 2025 World Emotional Health Report. And in that report, it states that 36% of people are living in a constant state of pain. Ooh. 36. That means 1 in 3 people are living in pain. That should not be the way. 72% of people, according to their report from last year, experience burnout in their careers. So would you agree that we have a problem on our hands? People are not healing internally. They are in a disconnect from themselves, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And this is why I'm here, to share some of these things with you of how we can break outside of that. So let's count our breaths. Now for this one, it's quite simple. You're sitting down comfortably. Your arms are either in your lap or just on the side somewhere. And all I want you to do is count how many in and out breaths you're taking in 1 minute. So that on the screen there is a countdown. It goes for 1 minute. You're going to sit in silence. It's a little bit subjective, this, because when you focus on your breathing, we naturally alter it. So try and just breathe in a normal pace as you would on normally base. However you breathe, mouth, nose, it doesn't matter. Alrighty, so we're going to do this for 1 minute. 1 breath is in and out counts as 1. All right? So I want you to count how many in and out breaths during that time. Okay. Are we ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready for this. Let's see. There we go. Thank you very much. For those who don't have the camera on, I'll assume you are. Oh, got fireworks. I'm going to count you in from 3 to 1. Let your air out and then take your first breath in. And I'll breathe along with you as well. 3, 2, 1. and stop. If you breathed 12 or less, you're very fit and healthy. That is amazing, phenomenal. If you're breathing 12 to 16 breaths a minute, this is deemed as average. But the more you breathe, the higher state of stress you're likely in. So 16 breaths and above will indicate either you have a lung ailment, perhaps you've got asthma, you've been sick recently, or you're in a high stressed state. So why is it dangerous to breathe faster? Because in theory, the more you breathe, the more oxygen, right? Would that be about right? The more I breathe, the more oxygen I have. Sure. Well, let's have a quick look here at how that goes. What happens when we're stressed? Imagine for a moment that you're standing on a curb. You're going to cross the street. You look left, you look right, you look left again. No cars. So you step out in front. You step out from the curb into the street. And as you step out, this car comes whizzing past you, screeching its tires as it goes around the corner. You jump back and you grab your bag, your tools and everything. In that moment, what happens? Do you breathe faster or slower? You breathe faster. Do you breathe in through your chest or your belly? Where do you think? When you breathe in, where does the air go? Does it go in your chest? Chest, yep. There we go. You breathe here. Does your blood pressure go up or does your blood pressure go down? Does your heart beat faster or does your heart beat slower? And do you breathe in through your mouth or your nose? That's because you've activated what is known as fear, fight, and flight, the sympathetic nervous system. Our bodies are designed to work like this. It's designed that when you're in that state of fear, when that car comes whizzing past, that you're going to take short, sharp breaths in your mouth, stress hormones kick in, cortisol, adrenaline kick in, the oxygen goes from your prefrontal cortex to your brain, sends it to your muscles and the vital organs that you need so that you can either run or flee. Fear, fight, flight. Now, here's our challenge that we have in the world. We're living in a constant state of being hit by a car. We're not able to slow down. Even when we're sleeping, your mind is racing. Anybody have that problem? The mental, just that we call the monkey mind. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. The cell phones, 5G, technology, TV, kids, drama, government, cash flow, business, diet, awful diet, bad water, all of these things just add so much weight onto our bodies. We are not able to reset. So even at night, we're not resetting. And when you're living in that high stress state for such a long period of time, eventually your body says, I'm done. And you crash. I want to share with you the resonant breathing technique. Now, I love this one. It's very much my go-to base protocol that I teach all my clients. I share this and teach it to professional speakers and business people. So a speaker is about to go on stage. Suddenly, maybe it's happened to you, you forget your name and you're meant to give a talk, or you're about to do a presentation at work and you think, but I can't just get this all right. As we say, the butterflies are flying all over the place. Well, this breathing technique is going to help them fly in sequence. It's called the resonant breath. And for this, you're going to sit peacefully. You're going to close your eyes and your hands are by your side. Preferably leaning against something so that you're very relaxed. So Fernanda, you're going to pay attention for this one as we're going to really reset. There we go. Got your attention now. I know we're all busy doing things, but to benefit from this, to understand it, means that we take it from your head into your heart. And that's the emotional change of state. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to count you from 3 to 1. You're going to take a breath in through your nose to the count of 5, and a breath out through pursed lips to the count of 5. And it's a continuous, so it's breathe in, breathe out. Now, I'm going to count for you, but halfway through, I'm going to stop counting. And I would encourage you to visualize and count in your head. There's a very important reason for this. I'll share with you afterwards. Okay? So, are we ready? Let's do this. Pens down, all calm, sitting there nicely. And let your air out. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out through pursed lips. 2, 3, 4, 5. In through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. In through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, count in your head. And out. And in. And out. One more. And in. And out. Now just sit there peacefully for a moment, feeling your heartbeat and the quiet in your mind. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How are we feeling? Calm, connected. Everything just sort of slowed down. Am I right? Okay. You slowed your breathing from whatever breathing state, and I know we've got some slow breathers there already, but when you're in a high stress state, you're breathing 15, 16, 20, 25. I've had a client breathe 40 times a minute before. Crazy stuff. It slows you to 6 breaths a minute. The ideal breath is 6 breaths a minute, in and out your nose. And there was a book written in 1901 by Yogi Ramacharaka, and he says in there, you don't eat through your nose, so don't breathe through your mouth. Now, mouth breathers, extremely dangerous. You're going to calm your nervous system by breathing through your nose. So I've been helping my clients for quite a few years in breathing techniques to help them really break outside of that stress state. But many of us, as what the results of Gallup have shown, and yourselves here, you're worried about your health and well-being. And breathing will take you to a certain extent, but unless you absolutely, truly ingrain yourself permanently in breathing, to actually heal at a cellular level requires something else. So I was looking for what other protocol could I help my clients who are struggling with osteoarthritis, continuous pain, which is not as a result of trauma or trapped energy, which a lot of it is, but there's something deeper that needs healing. So I earlier this year broached out into regenerative health protocols, more specifically, learning about protocols about stem cell production. Now, stem cells are the most intuitive, important cells in our body. They, in fact, enable our entire being to be here. But as we get older, we have less active stem cells, which is why that you get all these fine lines and wrinkles and your hair goes gray and things droop, which you wouldn't normally want to droop. And so when we find a way naturally, remember, I'm not into drugs, chemicals. I don't do doctors. I haven't done doctors in, I don't know, long time. But a doctor once told me that I'm no good for business. How is he meant to pay for his kids' ski trip in December? So I've been blessed and privileged with that, but not everybody has this. So how do we activate this without the need or outside of needing something artificial taken into our body? Well, I found it, but only after it helped my son come back, or find hope, I should say, after 7 years of struggling with type 1 diabetes, where he was not actually functioning. At the age of 30, he had to move home with us because he could not function. His body did not take insulin. Now, through these protocols of stem cell activation, he detoxed and he started to heal within. Now, he's not cured. I'm not saying he's cured, but he's functioning to the point that for the last 2 months, he's had a job for the first time in 7 years. He's been able to function, focus, his personality's back. And it's all through something called a patch, which looks like this. It's a stem cell activation patch using phototherapy. Now, I'm not going to go through detail with you right now. If you're interested, we can most definitely do that. It removes pain, inflammation, and heals at a cellular level using the power of light. And this is one thing that I've learned, is that breath gives us light. The sun gives us energy. You walk into the sun and they say that you get vitamin D from the sun. Well, you don't actually get vitamin D from the sun, but that light wave when you're in the sun that goes onto your body tells your body to activate and create vitamin D, which is what we need. Now, there's one rule that I'd like you to, not one rule, there's one thing that I'd like you to all remember. I'm covering plenty of things here today. But if there's one thing that I urge you to take away from my talk with you today, it's the following. And it's the first thing that I learned when breathwork discovered me. When I was on Google and this breathwork stuff came up, it said, breathe through your nose, not your mouth, because it acts as a natural tranquilizer for your nervous system. So calming you if you're stressed or anxious. And that I found fascinating. So here's the one thing. Can anybody guess what it is? If you've worked with me before, you'll know. Shut your mouth. Yep. Shut your mouth. And even on the lagoon, and to all my clients, I send them, shut your mouth. I love you. Because that is the first way that you calm your nervous system and you keep yourself connected. That's the one thing that you're going to remember. It would be that. So let's move now talking about how do you breathe in calmer seas? So things are happening. It's functioning. You're in what's called flow state. You're connected to source and it's beautiful. But the stresses around us never go away, do they? They remain there permanently. So how do we keep staying? How do we function at a high level on a consistent basis without burning out? So why is breathing one of the most powerful tools available? Well, it's about the manipulation of your autonomic nervous system. Stress, you see, is merely an emotional reaction to an external circumstance. What do you have control of? Do you have control of the external stresses of life? Not really. Or do you have control of how you react to that? And you see, your reaction can be changed by manipulating how you breathe. Now, your autonomic nervous system is all of those things that happen automatically inside of us that controls our entire involuntary responses. Heartbeat, blood pressure, digestion, sweat, hair growth, breathing, heartbeats. Of all those things that your ANS runs, there's only one that you have control of. Unless you're a guru sitting on a mountain for 20 years learning how to breathe and you can manipulate your heartbeat. For the rest of us, the one part that God gave us to control our entire metaphysical state, mental, physical, and spiritual state, is our breath. It's the one tool that we all have access to, and yet we're not taught about this. So always remember that stress, anxiety, anger, fear, panic are only internal emotional reactions to external circumstances. And you have control of that. So let's get control of it. What we're going to do now is for those people who are functioning and they're going, right, I'm really on a roll here, but I'm feeling tired. I need to go and have a double espresso. No, because there's the coffee breath, which will replace the double espresso without the downer afterwards to help you stay functioning at a higher level. So this technique is called the coffee breath. Are we ready for it? It's also known as 10-20-30 technique. And you can do this anytime you're sitting or lying down. The only time you don't do this is when you're driving. So if you are driving, listening to this, do this later on, right now. It's a great one to do just before your crazy day begins, when you need to charge your energy, or you've got that project to do and you're feeling tired and you think, I need that espresso. This is what you do. You boost your energy, focus, and your concentration at the same time. So this is what we do. You start with 10 breaths, then we're going to hold for 10 seconds on the out breath. Then we're going to do 20 breaths, hold for 20, 30 breaths, hold for 1 minute. Okay, some people just laugh there, right? Yeah, it can be done. Okay, or as long as you can. Now, the style of breathing that we're going to do is an activating breath. Just like your nasal breathing is calming, breathing through your mouth like this activates and awakens. Right? So you only ever breathe through your mouth when you're doing it for a specific purpose, like what we're doing. So the faster, the better. That's why you're sitting down or lying down. So it's going to look like this. Okay? You're panting like a dog if you want. But here's the key thing. When you breathe in, make sure your belly is going out. So while you're sitting there, even if you need to put your hands on your hips and with your fingers around your belly, breathing in and out your belly is essential because that is the ideal breath. Okay, not your chest. So we want to activate the diaphragm. All right, now we're going to do 10 of them, and we're going to hold for 10, 20, hold for 20, 30, and hold for 30. As always, I'm going to count you in. We're ready for this. Now, if you find that you are getting too lightheaded, just slow down for a moment. But if you can, keep up with this, because I've been doing this a lot, so I'm able to do this. But if you're not used to breathing like this, you may struggle at the beginning, and that's fine. Just like exercise, you need to continuously practice it. So you are, as you're consciously connecting to your breathing now, going to continue to practice. Are we ready? And we're letting our air out. 3, 2, 1. Now, in and out our mouths. Let's go. And breathe out and hold. Four, 3, 2, 1. 20 breaths. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your air out and hold. If you're feeling a buzz, that's fine. If you're feeling lightheaded, that's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 30 breaths. Keep going, keep going. You're doing well. You're doing well. I've got a dog there breathing as well. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, breath out, and hold. 30 seconds, 1 minute. Let's go. Just feel that calm. The energy's buzzing. Your ears are buzzing. You can feel your heartbeat. Your head is lightheaded. You're feeling it tingling in your feet and your hands. Hold your breath. You've got this. You can. 10 seconds. And when I say now, you're going to take a beautiful breath in through your mouth or your nose. It doesn't matter. Lifting your arms. Let's go. Breathe in. And a big sigh. How are we feeling now? Now you're awake, wide awake. You're active. You're busy. You can focus. If you had a problem before, you can now find the solution. Because we got out of our minds and we just breathed. CO2's pumping, oxygenated blood. That's how you remain functioning on an ongoing basis without hitting that burnout. But now make sure after this you come back to breathing. How do we breathe? In and out our nose. So onto the